All the footbridges that I have seen, they are handicapped accessible. And when you see the new bus stops, they are all handicapped accessible. And recently, a lot of buses have been purchased that are all handicap accessible. Yes, Governor Fashola did much, but also we should not poo-poo what Governor Akinwumi Ambode has done in the area of disability, because disability matters have been brought to the forefront of this state than ever before. The other gentleman who talked about disabled people being used to beg, I wish you had told us about the market. Then the supervising ministry would have gone there. But people need to know the law is very specific. The Special People's Law by Lagos State is very specific. You do not use disabled people to beg. There's the law. It's the law.
If you're caught.
If you are caught. Because you see beggars on the streets, but they have what are called pimps. People who bring them and take them. When you pick up 20 beggars, you don't see who has brought them to that specific location. You don't see them. They take off. You reunite the children with their families, who most of the time are from outside of Lagos State. By the next day, you take 20. By the next day, you have 40. Again, we as individuals, if we stop giving them money, they will not be on the streets.
All right. Hello. Good evening. Good evening.
States that you do not use somebody else's disability in raising funds. That is, if you are pushing me in a wheelchair and I'm begging, you pushing me, you have broken the law. The law is not only for people, the law also makes it very explicit that our service providers, our NGOs who have children in their units, in their homes, do not use those children in begging for money. You do not use their pictures. You do not use their likeness. It is against the law. You cannot go on television as a service provider and you are indirectly conversing for money and you are showing the pictures of the children that the state has placed in your care. It is against the Special People's Law.
How many people have been punished for some of these things that you've talked about?
About a couple of months ago, my office wrote a particular service provider, and that person was given a warning.
The person was warned.
The person was warned, and we also called the specific station to say, you do not show pictures of children, of our children who have disability.
Hello, good evening.
Who are in charge of picking them off the streets. And I would assure you that by tomorrow, they will be picked up.
All right, then 0906 000 7158 or 090.
Well, I say again that there's the Lagos State Office for Disability Affairs. We want them to be registered with Lagos State so that we know who they are, we know where they are, and we will help you to the best of our ability. We will help you. We'll prefer you not to be on the streets because it's even a hazard.
Very risky.
It's very risky. So we'll help you. But what I say again, and you know, I've said this so many times, we must develop a culture of early identification,
That's right.
early detection, and early treatment. That is what early intervention is about. Once we implement that, once we begin to do that, then the incidences of people who are on the streets
Will be
is reduced.
Hello, good evening. Good evening.
You say we should open centers with the number of disabled people in the states. We would overtake the states. Yes, having rehabilitation centers are good, but what we do not want to encourage is people dumping their children and saying, you know what, there's a home there, let me go and put my child in that home, and forget that child, forgetting that that child has emotions, that child can become depressed. And that is a different thing you are talking about. You are talking of a disability compounded with depression. The person can become suicidal. What we are saying is we are working towards putting a program in place that would tell each family, as soon as your child is diagnosed or born, we say, you know what, we as a state, we got your back. We are going to hold your hands. It's a lifelong journey. If you know that a state is going to hold your hands and walk on the journey with you, then the issue of homes become moot. Should we develop more rehabilitation centers? I think the private sector also needs to begin to look into helping the government set up these, what you may call workshops, where people begin to learn different skills. We have enough businessmen in the country to set up a furniture making factory. Because I'm in a wheelchair does not mean anything is wrong with my hands or anything is wrong with my brains, that I cannot learn to upholster a chair. I cannot learn to be a mechanic. So we are calling on all our businessmen, the private sector, join hands with us so that we can solve this issue.
There you go. You've been listening to